Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Siegel. I'm a professor of migration studies, and this is a channel about all things migration. And today we are talking about the weaponization of migration. So, migration is most often discussed in humanitarian, economic, and legal terms, but it can also be used as a political, economic, and military leverage tool. That's what we call the weaponization of migration. So when migration flows are deliberately manipulated by state or non-state actors to achieve strategic objectives. Now, one of the earliest academics to analyze this was Weiner in 1992, who described how governments can force immigration to destabilize neighboring states, pressure states into specific concessions, expand political or ethnic control through colonization or decolonization. Greenhill in 2010, the leading scholar on this topic, further developed this idea, coining the term strategically engineered migration to describe cases where migration is deliberately created or manipulated to pressure a target state into making political, economic, or military concessions. Now, according to Greenhill in 2008, there are 4 forms of weaponization of migration. They are militarized, dispossessive, exportive, and coercive. So let's start with militarized. So this refers to forced displacements that occur during active conflicts as a strategic military tool. This can serve 2 purposes: weakening an opponent by disrupting their logistics, command structures, or mobility, or strengthening one's own forces, whether by securing additional resources or forcibly recruiting people into the conflict. So an example of this form would be what occurred in December 2015 when tensions escalated between Russia and Turkey after Turkey shot down a Russian fighter jet near the Syrian-Turkey border. So in response, Russia launched airstrikes along the border region, deliberately targeting areas where thousands of displaced Syrians had sought refuge. As a result, a new wave of migration was triggered, forcing more Syrians to flee towards Turkey. So the second way of weaponization is dispossessive. So this is when the goal is to seize control of a territory or strengthen political power. Migration is instrumentalized to remove or displace specific populations. This strategy is used to take over land, property, or resources while also eliminating groups perceived as a challenge to the dominant political, ethnic, or economic order. In extreme cases, this process aligns with what is widely recognized as ethnic cleansing, so a deliberate effort to reshape demographics in favor of those in power. So a clear example of dispossessive weaponization is the forced displacement of the Yazidi population by ISIS in northern Iraq in 2014. During these attacks, ISIS deliberately expelled over 830,000 people, targeting non-Sunni Muslim groups and particularly the Yazidi. This campaign of mass expulsion and violence, which included executions and starvation tactics, was widely designed to eliminate local populations and consolidate territorial dominance, making it a stark example of migration being used as a tool of ethnic cleansing. So, exportive is the third way that we see the weaponization of migration. It occurs when a state deliberately displaces people to serve its own political interests, either by getting rid of political opponents and dissidents to strengthen its domestic position, or by using migration to destabilize or pressure a foreign government. A striking example of exportive weaponized migration is Iran's strategic use of Afghan refugees to destabilize its neighbor. Many Afghans sought asylum in Iran following the Soviet invasion, but Iran periodically expelled large numbers of them to exert political pressure. In 2007, Iran deported 80,000 Afghans in retaliation for then-President Hamid Karzai's decision to allow an official NATO presence in Afghanistan. Beyond this, Iran has long leveraged Afghan refugees under its jurisdiction to influence the Afghan government and assert regional dominance, making migration a tool of geopolitical control. Now, the fourth area of the weaponization of migration is coercive weaponization, which happens when a state or actor deliberately creates, threatens, or exploits migration flows as a foreign policy tool. The goal is to pressure another country into making political changes, offering concessions, or providing financial aid. In some cases, the migration crisis isn't directly caused by the coercer, but is manipulated for propaganda purposes to serve their own strategic interests. A clear example of a successful coercive type of weaponization of migration started in May of 2021 when Morocco facilitated the entry of between 8,000 and 12,000 migrants, including 1,500 unaccompanied minors, into the Spanish enclave of Ceuta. As a retaliatory measure, after Spain provided medical treatment to Brahim Ghali, the leader of the Polisario Front, which seeks Western Sahara's independence. So Moroccan border guards were filmed opening fences, and some migrants reported that authorities actively encouraged them to cross. The timing of this sudden influx coincided with rising diplomatic tensions over Spain's stance on Western Sahara. In response, Spain executed collective pushbacks without due process, violating international law. If you're interested more on what pushbacks are, you can see my video on that. Ultimately, the crisis pressured Spain into shifting its position on the territorial dispute, as Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez later endorsed Morocco's proposal for Western Sahara's autonomy, demonstrating how migration control can be weaponized to achieve political concessions. Now, finally, Greenhill also identifies 3 different types of coercers. You can have generators, so these are actors who directly and intentionally create migration flows to pressure another state, as exemplified in the Moroccan case and Spain. The second type of coercer is agent provocateurs. So those are who act indirectly by provoking circumstances that cause migration. So they could fund insurgencies or withdrawing aid to create instability and other measures. The third type is opportunists. Opportunists are those who exploit pre-existing migration flows for their own benefit or to pressure other states. Now, we are seeing more and more weaponization of migration more recently all across the globe. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of the weaponization of migration. If you have more examples of this, or if you've experienced this yourself or studied this, please, of course, leave a comment in the comment section. If you found this helpful and useful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that we upload on a regular basis on this channel. And I do hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.